Hey, what's up? It is a beautiful, beautiful day here in New Jersey. It's going to be a nice 65 degrees. And last week we came live from inside my car at the Spy House. But this week I decided we have good bars. Let's go live from outside the Spy House. Now, the Spy House is one of the most haunted locations on the Jersey Shore. This house is over 200 years old. It's been a bar, a restaurant, a house of ill repute, a tavern, and most notably used during the Revolutionary War for the Tories to spy on the Redcoats during the time of the war. So this is a pretty awesome place, and I absolutely love it. It's totally, definitely 110% haunted, and it is regarded as one of the most haunted homes in New Jersey. So, or in the United States of America, to be clear about it. So I thought that we'd come here and we'd talk a little bit and we'd hang out, and I talk to you about the Spy House. You can ask questions. I'll give you any knowledge that I have, and maybe while we're hanging out, a ghost will approach us, and I'll tell you about an experience that I had right at the back entrance of this home. It's really a special place, and it's just a really cool hangout. Growing up as a teenager, I used to come here with my friends, and we would hang out on the lawn here, and we would try to do a little amateur ghost hunting. I don't think any of us ever actually captured anything worthwhile, but it was definitely awesome to have a place that we knew for sure from the history and the lore would probably have ghosts. There is the woman who watches from the top window there that you can see. She watches out onto the ocean waiting for the captain of his ship to come home. There is a pirate that allegedly walks through here, the ghost boy Matthew, who I've talked to you folks about at length, and there's also a lot of other ghosts and a lot of tragedy also around this building, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Do many John's spirits still visit? That's a good question. I wouldn't doubt it. At the Shanley Hotel, I think that there are many spirits of past customers that visit there, so why wouldn't they visit here at a place that also had that sort of activity? It's very interesting. Why don't most ghosts go outside of the homes? Well, I think that they do. I just think that a lot of people stay inside the house and ghost hunt there instead of coming out onto the property. One of the biggest claims that this piece of property has is that this lawn that we're sitting on here is that at nighttime, if you sit out here in the quiet, that you will hear ghost children playing out on the lawn. So for sure, this house has that sort of reputation that even outside you could hear things. As a matter of fact, a gentleman who there's a new feature. A gentleman who used to drive an ambulance told me that driving down this road, we're on Port Monmouth Road here in Monmouth County in Middletown, that he was driving his ambulance down this road on the way back to the station house, and a black shadowy figure was crossing the road there, and he actually was so spooked by it that he slammed on the brakes thinking that there was somebody crossing the road. When he was able to figure out what was happening, he realized that there was nobody there, and that it was just some sort of shadow that was crossing the road. And this is a gentleman who I trust very much. I've known for a long time, and he said he didn't realize that he was in front of the Spy House when it happened until he looked up, and then he was like, dude, I think that it was like a ghost, because that was weird. So it was really awesome. Hey, I'm doing really well, thanks. Are there animal spirits in the house? I don't know. There's no claims that I know of, but I can certainly look and find out. There's lots of people who have investigated this home when that was a thing that you could do. It hasn't been able to be done in a long time, unfortunately. Right now it is a Monmouth County park ranger station, and the park rangers are not in right now. I actually went and pulled on the door before I got on here to see if I could go inside. So one of these days I'm going to see if when it's open for the public, and I'll see if they'll let me go inside and sit in one of the halls, because you can rent the hall here to do lectures and do other sorts of things like that. So I may see if they'll let me in, and maybe they'll let me rent the hall for on the cheap, and I'll just sit in there and ghost hunt without them knowing. Wouldn't that be cool? Hey guys, my name is Scott, by the way. If you like ghost stuff, paranormal stuff, mediumship, and spirits, and all that kind of stuff, do me a favor, give it a like. Give me a like, a follow, and all that cool stuff. We are so close to 150,000 likes. I'm totally appreciative of every single one of you who's followed me and been supporting me on my journey here on TikTok. Some really neat things that are coming up. I can't really talk about the specifics, but I have booked another television show for Discovery Plus and Travel Channel. So in the next 4 weeks or so, I'm going to be going ahead and filming something. And let me tell you something when I tell you that you are going to get introduced to some of the scariest shish I have ever done, and it is in one of the coolest, most haunted locations I've ever been to. It makes the Spy House look like kiddie play. It's really very interesting to be a part of that and being asked to be a part of that documentary that we're going to be doing, which is going to be on Discovery Plus and Travel Channel. So I'll let you know as I'm doing it. Hopefully I'll be able to do some TikToks while we're filming and talk about that as well. Hey everybody, it's nice to see you there. My name is Scott, and I'm hanging out at the very haunted Spy House in Monmouth County, Middletown, New Jersey. This place is really awesome. It's very haunted. If I can keep a good stream, I may walk over there and show you guys up close what it looks like and see if we can get a look inside. And I'll tell you a neat story about what happened to me at this back door and then what happened to my sister at the front door. Totally interesting story, and I would love to cover it if you'd like to hear it. Hey, what's up, California? It's nice to see you there. Thanks for checking in with me. I'm hanging out for a little bit and chilling out with you. Do me a favor, if you like what you're seeing and you're into ghosts, haunted locations, spirits, and mediumship, give me a follow and share the video. Let your friends know what we're doing here on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in New Jersey. We are here on what I consider the Jersey Shore, and we're in a very interesting place. I live in this town. I've grown up here my entire life. That's why I know a lot about the paranormal and the lore here, because I've had to do a lot of digging and investigating in these particular locations. And I'm probably about a mile away from what I call Paranormal Alley. So that is north. If I were to head directly south in that direction, we would run into some of the most haunted locations in New Jersey. Private residences, people who don't know each other but have called me to investigate their homes, unknowingly all talking about the same sorts and types of activity that are happening in each of their homes. I flagged them down on Google and I put them down because someday when I have the opportunity, I'm going to write a book about how insanely haunted the area is. To give you a little bit of the history, right where I'm sitting, before there was a homestead here, this was inhabited by the Lenape Native Americans. This is a place, they actually had a name for the town that we're in, and they called it Heaven in their language. It was full of deer, fish, plenty of wildlife and food and shelter and everything you could ever want if you were living out in the wild among nature. So that is one of the really cool things that happened here. Unfortunately, when the colonists came here, they pretty much wiped out the Lenape, and we don't have much to remember them here by. So it's important that we talk about them and their legacy and their history here, and you know, the things that have happened. I am at the Spy House in Middletown, New Jersey. Specifically, I'm in Port Monmouth, New Jersey. So yeah, let's grow. That's it. We're having a lot of fun, and I'll show you the shoreline over here. I'll stand up here, and we'll turn around, and I'll show you something neat. So back here is the New York skyline, so we can see Manhattan back here on a good day. And it's very interesting because this house looks out over the bay here, which if I have a good enough signal, I'll walk over there and show it to you. I've never been to Kansas to investigate, no. I would love to someday. Hopefully if I get a network television show, which we're all shooting for here, I have some pretty good prospects of some things like that happening. Maybe I'll make it out your way. Where are the elderly people? I don't know. I'm in Michigan. We have something planned for Michigan, hopefully. I can't disclose what's happening there. You know, TV is really funny. We don't want to disclose anything because we don't want to give our ideas to anybody else, and we have something really special in Michigan that we'd be working on. Hi there. So let me show you. I'll get a little bit closer and show you a different angle of this house as long as we're still holding the stream. I was here once before and the signal was terrible, but today it looks like it's holding up. So hi, North Carolina. I used to live there. I lived in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and I also lived in Wilmington. Wilmington is one of the most haunted towns I've ever been to in my life, and that's saying something. I am at the very haunted Spy House in Port Monmouth, New Jersey. For anybody who's tuning in now, I'm Scott, and I am a medium, and I'm hanging out, and I'm going to tell you some of the cool things that have happened. So one day at this back door, I had a hat on, and it was backwards, and I was BSing with one of my friends, and I felt as though somebody was flicking the brim of my hat. And I said to my buddy, I was like, hey, is there a bug banging on the back of my hat, like a June bug or something? And he laughed and said, no, there's no bugs. And I said, that's weird. I feel like something is hitting my hat. And it was backwards. So, which is important. I didn't think much of it, and we're just hanging out there BSing a little bit more, and I felt the tapping again. So I was like, this is getting annoying. I took my hat off and I checked it, and there's nothing. And out of habit, I flipped it back over to the right way. A couple of days later, I was mentioning it to my buddy Brian, who's also from the area and a paranormal investigator. And he laughed and he said, dude, you don't know the story about Tom? And I said, no, what's the story about Tom? And he said, Tom is a ghost who lives in the house, and he actually is known to mess with men who don't wear their hats properly. And I was like, you're BSing me, dude. That's not true. And he's like, yes, it is. You can go look it up. And I did. And I looked up the lore, and I found a story just like that, where a young man was wearing his hat improperly, and it kept getting flicked and bothered until he turned it around. And it was funny because once I turned my hat around the right way, the tapping stopped. And that literally happened right here at this back door. So that was really interesting. And I really like that. So, over here, I don't know if you guys can see it because I'm using the back-facing camera of this thing. Let me see if I can give you a little heads up here. So if you can see out here, you can see a ship out there. That is Weapon Stations Earl. So that's a big Navy depot here in our town. And all of the munitions, if we ever go to war, get sent off from back over here. And that this is called a Trident Pier out here. For anybody who may not know, it is the largest Trident Pier on the East Coast. I believe it goes out 1.5 miles into the bay. And sometimes we have really huge Navy ships parked out here. It's pretty neat. With everything that's going on in the world, I wouldn't be surprised if I started seeing some more ships there. So my prayers and heart goes out to Ukraine, former United States Marine veteran. I know what war is like, and I know that it's pretty terrible out there, so my heart and hat goes off to them right now. Oh, that's funny. Somebody said, I drive the bus at Earl during the Gulf War. Oh, that's amazing. So you know a lot about that. Devil Dog, what's up? How are you? I'm good. I'm hanging out at the Spy House here in Middletown, New Jersey. My signal is still nice and strong, so I'm going to see if I can get a little bit closer without freezing. The last time I got too close to this house, believe it or not, my cell phone started freezing up and it wouldn't let me broadcast. It was the craziest thing. So I'm going to keep going here. Froze. See? You said I froze. I can't go too close. For some reason, it just makes me freeze up. Crazy, right? So my name is Scott. I'm hanging out at the very haunted Spy House in Port Monmouth, New Jersey. If you like haunted locations, you like ghosts, you like a little bit of history mixed in there to show and validate the ghosts, let me know. Hang out with me. Give me a follow. Give me a like. We are so close to 150,000 likes here on my channel, which I totally appreciate. Thank you so much. I decided that it was Tuesday again, and it was nice, so I'd come out here to the Spy House. Unfortunately, it seems like if I keep getting too close to this house, I freeze. We're going to try again. So a lot of people take pictures, and if you go on Google and you Google Spy House, New Jersey, you'll find a lot of articles about this place, and you'll find a lot of photographs if you go to Google Images of people hanging out in the windows. Now, I'll tell you that much of the glass here is original, or at least very old, so it's that tempered glass. It's like really wavy. Yes, I did say I was a Marine, former Marine. So basically, you could get some pareidolia happening where you see things that aren't there, but basically I think that there are a lot of ghosts that do hang out in there, but the activity's been a lot less because we're not allowed in there to ghost hunt anymore since it's become a ranger station. But a long time ago, there was a curator, and this was a museum, and you could go in and walk around and hear all the cool ghost stories that she would tell. This place was on sightings. So I see somebody keep saying that, hey, thank you to all of my fellow veterans out there. I appreciate you too. So a lot of people talked about somebody passing up on the second floor. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely that happening there. There's a lot of craziness that has gone on here. It looks like something in that top left window. Yeah, it could be. You might be seeing something that I don't. I'm doing a lot of jibber-jabbering right now. Is there a spirit in the top window on the right? That is one of the most active locations in this house from what I understand. So you very well could be seeing something or sensing something, especially if you are sensitive to this sort of stuff. Why would they stay there? Because it's their home. This is called the Wilson Seabrook Homestead. These are people who helped found this town. So I would imagine that they are very happy to be here and protect their home and watch it. Last time I was here, I talked about how when Superstorm Sandy came to New Jersey and wiped out pretty much everything, all of the homes that are in the area here were wiped out completely. They're all rebuilt and raised now. This house, this 200-year-old home, stood its ground and it's fine. It didn't even lose a shingle. Nothing. It's just still here. They don't build them like they used to. You all can definitely check this out. what is the scariest thing that you have encountered? One of the scariest things I've ever encountered is something that I'm going to talk about on this TV show that we booked. I don't want to give too much of the story away anymore, but definitely I would use the word skinwalker and evil for this story. And that takes a lot for me to say that because I'm very practical in the way that I approach spirits and ghost hunting. But certainly whatever came after me on this location was very unhappy and it was very malevolent. So this is one of the places that I'm going to show you. I think in the next couple weeks I'll go to a couple other locations that I know have paranormal activity, and we'll talk about them as well. I think it's really fun to do the paranormal stuff, but also educate on the history of places as well. So you may not know that this town that I'm in right now is one of the first colonized towns in the United States. When this became a territory, there was a gentleman named Marlpit who came here and colonized on behalf of the Queen. Now, the Queen and the King, right? So that is a couple miles east of here, and it's a really historic old place as well that we can't go ghost hunting in either. I've asked, and they said no. But it's also, excuse me, in the middle of town where a lot of really interesting paranormal activity has happened, including in some of the churches. They're talking about this window right here that they think that all of the ghosts and things are that they're seeing. And it very well could be. If you like paranormal locations, spirits, ghost hunting, all that kind of stuff, please do me a favor, like and follow here. We're almost at 150,000. I think we're about like 1,100 followers short. And boy, am I excited to get there. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me and making the channel grow the way it has. Do you know what causes a haunting? I don't know specifically. It's all guesswork. So many times I've run into ghosts that just love the place that they're at, or they have had a tragic end and do not know they're dead. And also, they just didn't realize they were dead and didn't know to cross. There's a couple different reasons, and I don't think there's any one particular reason. And maybe all of that is not true at all, and we're just guessing, and we're just trying our best. The one thing that I was trying to talk about with the paranormal is the practical part of it, and not knowing anything at all most of the time. We're just trying to do our best. Come down to Florida Sunday, I will. I'll like a paranormal, but afraid to actually encounter it. A lot of people are that way. That's why the paranormal is fun. I love doing it. It's one of my most favorite things, and this is one of the first places I ever had a paranormal experience. So I always come here. It's like home base. Yeah, sometimes it's from people opening. So this place that's a good point. So this place was on a TV show called Sightings. If you were not here last week, Sightings is a television show from the 1990s. It made the Sally House very famous, and this one in particular as well. During the filming here, Jane Doherty came here. She's a very well-known psychic medium here in the area. She came here, and during a paranormal investigation, one of the first ever on television, by the way, all of the cameras died. And it was very interesting. And I believe that she had said that there were tunnels underneath this building, and everybody said that there weren't. And then guess what? Like 10 years later, they found tunnels underneath this building. And they think that they used the tunnels during the Underground Railroad days to help push out runaway slaves to safety. So we are about, I guess we're about 1.5 miles across the bay from New York City, from Manhattan. So it'd be a very safe place for them to go at the time. Yeah, the Sally House was on a TV show called Sightings back in the 90s. And that is the infamous footage of the flower dying behind the gentleman who owned the home at the time. I think he actually might still own it. I don't remember. But yeah, that's the flower that they shot, and it was very well and alive. And then like a half hour later, it was completely dead, like it had been dead for years. Check that out. It's very interesting. So I saw myself off from a 2-story window in a prior life 100 years ago. Yeah, so that is a very interesting thing. Past life regression is very interesting. If it's around, can you feel it? Yes, I could. Thank you very much for everybody who's sharing the video. I totally appreciate you. Thanks so much. I have a great time doing these, and I have a great time talking to all of you. Why do spirits and demons hide? So spirits will hide because they don't want to interfere with your life, and they're just enjoying their time visiting. Demons hide because they don't want you to know that they're there, so that they can infest your home and then eventually do what demons do and wreck your life and possess you and all that shit. But that is very rare, so don't go that way. Demon stuff is very, very rare, despite what Ghost Adventures and Zach Baggins has to say. I hope you like all this. Anybody who's sending me gifts, as always, I will tell you thank you so much. Just know that when I hit the $100 mark on gifts, which is going to be very soon, it's going to get all donated over to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. As I tell everybody every time, I got a soft spot for kids. I love them very much. I have my own. And through some of the people that I've worked with, I've unfortunately had the duty of speaking to children who passed. And it lightened me up to a side of the world that I didn't know existed because I was ignorant to it, and I know it's there. So all the gifts that we receive go right over to St. Jude's. Every $100 that you all gift me, I send over to them. And I think that's a great cause for what we're doing here. So thanks everybody who's sending gifts. Your hard-earned money is going to go somewhere special, and I appreciate you doing that for them. Is sleep paralysis and seeing shadows supernatural? So I was telling a story recently about my house that I grew up in. It was built in like 1984, so it's not old, but I had a lot of sleep paralysis there and seeing shadows. Now I'm sensitive to the paranormal, clearly, but I have two sisters, and I'm adopted, and they are natural to my family that adopted me. A couple weeks ago, I was talking to my middle sister, Michelle, and she told me that out of nowhere, she said that she had sleep paralysis and saw shadows in the house. And then a week ago, my youngest sister, who has never had a paranormal experience in that house, she's been moved out for a while. She went back to visit my mom and help my mom with my grandmother who moved in. And she had her first experience with sleep paralysis. She fell asleep, and she said she woke up, she couldn't move, and there was a thin black shadow standing in the doorway of the door, staring at her. And I said, "What room were you in that this happened?" And she said, "Your old room." And I thought that was really interesting. She said that she was able to wake herself up out of it, and when she did, she found out that my grandmother had gotten up and wandered out into a different room, and she was sleepwalking. So I asked her if she thought it was our grandmother standing in the door, and she said, "No way. This was like a super thin, like pencil thin shadow." It was very interesting. So I think that there's supernatural and paranormal aspects to it. Sometimes it could be just that your body's fatigued and your brain woke up and your body didn't. But that's my take. If we rebuke demons, can they still hunt or affect you in any way? No. As long as you don't give anything your power, you're good. I always say that. So the way demons get in is like you kind of give them the old vampire welcome. Like, come on in. My life is shit anyway. Come and bother me. Like, it's weird how it works, but you have to give them the ability. So don't, and you'll be fine. Let's see. Have you encountered a family of spirits? I sure have. I encountered a woman with 2 children in a house I investigated in Fleming, New Jersey. They were not angry or sad or misplaced. They liked their home and they didn't want to leave. They had passed away in a fire, and they just on the property, not in the same house. It was a different house, and they moved from the location of outside to the inside. And they just thought it reminded of them, the family that was living there reminded them of their family, so they liked living there. And yeah, I have come across that. Isn't that interesting? Now, you all just hit on something, and you probably might be a little bit psychic yourself, because I see this thing about family annihilators. There's something that I'm going to bring up to the TV producer that I'm friends with, that we're working on a couple different projects with, and that's one of them. I think if it's done in good taste with the right people in place, that we could tell those kinds of stories and beyond what happened to them during the passing. And I think it could be very healing and be very therapeutic. But it has to be done the right way. We can't just go in there being ghost adventures about it and slinging the word demon around and bullshit like that. We have to be very careful, very nice, very... you guys know. If you've been following me for a while, you know how I am. I don't go being dramatic for no reason. I wouldn't. I have dreams that later come true, but my eyes would go blind. Oh my God, in the blind, then my dream would flash. So you probably were having a psychic dream, intuition, and it became too much for you, and your rational brain probably shut it down. That's okay. That will happen. Just meditate and train yourself not to do that, and you'll start to have those things. Anybody looking for a reading with me, I appreciate you. You can go over to my Facebook. There's a link in my bio. I have a couple dates up right now for the next couple weeks. So if you want to do that, or you can email me, scottynjmedium@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you with my schedule. Thanks so much for asking. Yes, you have to journal. That's very important. I tell everybody all the time, when you wake up from a dream, write it down as much as you can remember. The details may be very important. And when you write it down, you may realize that more and more stuff that you're writing down is going to be more and more pertinent, and more details will come out while you're doing it. I once had a dream that my dad got in a car accident and it was okay, but totaled his car. That's interesting. That actually happened in real life? Yes, Ghost Adventure is entertaining, but that is about it. We're not gaining any real intel from them or real ways to understand the paranormal, unfortunately. They do have a lot of real Bill, who brings all of the really cool paranormal gear. I think that he's underutilized, and he should do more. I think he should have his own show, to be honest with you. I used to be able to lucid dream, but I struggle with that now. So definitely meditate more. You were probably better at it when you were younger and had less problems and less adult stuff to go over. So definitely what I would say for lucid dreaming is meditate during the day and train yourself to be able to do it. Okay, so Megan said yes, her dad did have the car accident. The car was totaled, but he was okay. So you had a psychic premonition. I once had a psychic premonition. Same thing. My parents were, I had a dream that both of my parents were in a car accident together, but they died. So I told my mom that, and I was probably about 14. And we had this blue Dodge Caravan. You remember the powder blue Dodge Caravans? We had one of those. And I told my mom that dream, and she was like, okay. Now, my dad is very practical, and he was like, I don't give a shit what you said. But my mom believed me, and they didn't drive in the same car for like a week. So nothing happened, but maybe that was why. I know I saw a ghost in a nursing home I worked at. I posted a video a couple months ago. My buddy's wife works at a nursing home, and she posted a video. They have some security cameras, obviously, for security reasons set up. And somebody was reviewing footage for one reason or another, and they heard this really loud, dark EVP happen, and then a door slammed, and they couldn't figure out what it was. They sent it to me, and they allowed me to publish it. As long as I didn't say where it was. So if you go back through my posts, you'll be able to find that. It's very interesting. For anybody who lost anybody, I'm very sorry for your losses. It's unfortunately part of being a person, human being. I have a lot of people that we lost. Namely, recently my uncle passed away. He's a good guy. Miss him. But I know he's okay on the other side, and I have comfort in that. How many guides do you have? I don't know. How many have you asked or meditated? And ask them to tell you. If you want to do any kind of spirit guide meditation, you could also find one of those in my link in bio. There's a beginning part where I set up the meditation for you and the music that plays after. You can download it and it'll be yours forever. And that's in my link in bio. It's a couple bucks. My mom, who passed, told me my brother would remarry his ex. He said, no way. Because in my first 6 months he did. Isn't that something? Zozo killed your best friend. I don't know if Zozo has the ability to do that. I'd love to talk to you about that someday. Hey, what's up, Trini? How are you? Trini knows me from my Sam and Colby days. Hopefully I'll be able to get back with those fellas soon. They're cool guys. If anybody has never seen that, or if you know who Sam and Colby are, they're a duo on YouTube with like 6 million subscribers. I was lucky enough to be a guest on one of their shows and investigate the haunted Chanley Hotel with them. That was really awesome, and they're really nice guys, so I enjoyed that. I was there with Josh and Seth as well. They were great guys as well. Do ghosts know your future? Sometimes they can know a little bit about what's happening, but I don't think that they're omnipotent. I don't think anything or anyone is, except for the source out there, if we want to call it God or source or whatever you want. That's the only thing that knows for sure what's going to happen next. Can I communicate with my uncle? Yeah, I see him standing around every once in a while. He's still kind of fresh, so I haven't been trying to bother him. I almost had the same dream as your sister, but whatever they were laughing around me. That's an interesting thing, and I've heard that before. So you should research that, because you will probably find more people have had that same experience. Do I ever get scared? Not really, no. Every once in a while we'll do something that's very intense, and I will get afraid from how intense it is, but I'm not afraid of ghosts or spirits. We did an Estes experiment, which is where you go blindfolded with the headphones on and the spirit radio running. And I was alone in a very dark, scary room by myself, and I kept hearing really nasty stuff coming through the headphones. And it got very, very intense, and that scared me. It sent my fight or flight off, which is very difficult to do because I'm very calm. And being a combat vet, I have seen some things, so my threshold for being afraid is pretty high. If you guys like what you're getting here, do me a favor, hit the like and share button. Follow me if you like. I will be trying to go live as much as possible whenever I can from haunted locations. And I thought today was a great day to come to you live from the Jersey Shore at the Haunted Spy House, which is looming behind me. One of the really interesting things I think about when I go to places like this is that, you know, there are a lot of people who walk through here and who've been. George Washington slept in this house, by the way. That's noted. They've had British campsites outside here, American Revolutionary War campsites here. They have literally dug cannonballs from a Revolutionary War out of the ground here. Musket balls, muskets, arrowheads, you name it. It's come out of this grass right here. It's really an amazing place in New Jersey. I've been getting a high-pitched ringing in my right ear. Is there a message coming in? Probably. Right side is spirit ear, left side is the negative ear. So whenever you're hearing high-pitched, as long as you don't have tinnitus or tinnitus, however you want to say it, if you get checked for that and you're good and your hearing's good, then probably you have a message coming through. What you're going to want to do is meditate and speed yourself up a little bit by really tuning into that sound, and then tell whatever's telling you, whatever's making that noise, say slow down and relax, because I want to hear what you're saying. I have a new shadow person in my house trying to get my attention today. Oh, that's interesting. Tell them hello and tell them if they have a message to give it to you, and then get lost. We don't ever want anything living with us. Although investigating the paranormal is really interesting and fun, we never ever want a ghost or spirit living with us. Not ever, ever, ever. Not ever. It's bad because they affect the way we feel. Even if they're good spirits and ghosts, we don't really want them there with us. That's why I think ghosts and spirits tend to head to attics and basements, because they don't really want to be around us and we don't want to be around them for the most part. So, you have a house for me to go through? I'd love that. Not living as drain. Yeah, you don't want to be energy. Yeah, you don't want that. Money coming soon for me. Lots of money. I have a feeling. I hope so. I want everybody to have lots of money. I want the economy to be better. I want us all to be better. I want human beings to be better. I mean, I could wish in one hand and do the other thing in the other, and you know what I'll get first, right? Collectively as people, we got to do better. We have to love our neighbors and all that good stuff. Am I always that way? No. Because sometimes people drive like assholes in New Jersey and I get angry with them. Sometimes people are jerks in the grocery store. We get mad, but it doesn't mean I hate them forever. It just means I'm not happy with them right now. Same thing with me. I'm not easy to get along with. I got a strong personality. So I try to be as good as possible as most of the time. But, you know, we have our cracks in our armor and things happen. So just be good to your neighbors. That's where we start, right? Have I encountered Mr. Seabrook at the Spy House? I have not. But one of these days I'm going to find out the schedule for when they're in here, for when the Rangers are in here, and I'm going to bring you guys inside and walk you around, and hopefully they'll let me go live and sit down and see if we can do any communication. They don't let us do ghost hunting here. If you mention ghosts, they're like, no, like, no ghosts here. I'm like, well, then why don't you guys ever stay here when the sun goes down? They don't have an answer for that. So, yeah, ghosts, that's why. It's haunted. I have 10 spirits that I know of in my house. Doesn't bother anyone. Dog barks at the wall all the time. That's interesting. That's a lot of ghosts. Left ear, if you hear things in your left ear, that's not good. This is the ear where, like, negative stuff comes in. Oh, my hair is a mess. I gotta get a haircut. What's up? How are you? It's nice to see everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. My name is Scott. I'm a medium and a psychic and a paranormal investigator. I'm hanging out at my favorite location in New Jersey, the very haunted Wilson Seabrook Spy House. I have been to North Carolina. I lived in Wilmington for a while. The building that I lived in was an apartment complex, and boy, when I tell you that there were ghosts there were freaking ghosts there. It was scary as shit. As a matter of fact, I should probably do a TikTok series on it. It affected my daughter and 2 other people that were living there at the time. What a wild place to live. Wilmington, down by the water near Cape Fear and near the battleship, was one of my favorite places ever to visit. It was awesome, and I suggest that if anybody wants to go on vacation, you go there. It's great. Visit Kilwin's for good ice cream, by the way. I also, when I was in the Marines, what did you say? There are two kinds of Marines, a well-adjusted person or one crazy. You know what? I am both of them. I'm well-adjusted and then a little bit crazy because I love going into these paranormal situations and investigating. But when I lived in Jacksonville, I didn't have any paranormal experiences in Jacksonville, but I did have some very interesting experiences when I was on Camp Devil Dog, or Camp Johnson as it's known as well. That's so close to my house. Is it haunted? Oh yeah, this place. Yes. What do we do on the negative side is ringing? So I would suggest that you do some cleansing. So if you feel like, if you do not have tinnitus and you know that you don't have any mental health issues, let me clear that up. You got to make sure that the normal practical things are taken care of. If you know that your ears aren't ringing because you listen to loud music or are around loud construction equipment or whatever the case may be, and you have a little ringing in there and there's no tinnitus or for that reason, then we can look a little bit more supernatural. And if that's the case, just take a salt shower once a week and whatever negative vibes are around you should wash away. Okay? When did I develop my gift? I developed my gift, for real developed it, like really got into it probably about 10 years ago. Went public with it about 7 years ago. And I've had it since I was about 4. But that was more of like when things happen, they would happen. I would see ghosts like right in front of me, like physically, and it would freak people out. That doesn't really happen anymore. I have to tune into it. So while I'm sitting here talking and engaging with all of you, I've been waiting for like anybody that might be here to come. Like I get the spooky feeling from over here, actually. I'm going to turn this because I have a little shed behind me. So let's see if I can get anybody to come out. As a matter of fact, like, so I started talking about it. And of course, I started to get like the yicky feeling. Can you tell if someone has the gift? Yes. Usually we call that vibe tribe. We can sense each other and know each other. So if you have it and I look familiar to you and you like hearing what I have to say, you probably have a bit of the gift too. What is the best, more realistic show? So the best, most realistic show on television right now, Ghost Hunters is really good because they're not bullshitting you. I'm going to name drop here. I'm pretty good friends with Dave Tango, and I've known him for quite a while. He's not a bullshitter, and he's a good dude. So I know that what they're doing is real. As far as people with psychics and mediums going, I would always trust Dead Files. I don't know Amy Allen. I've met her a couple times. She's very nice, down to earth. Her and Steve are a great team, and I trust a homicide detective from New York City, and I trust her because she's really great. And she also comes from a first responder family. Her dad was a firefighter. She worked in Phoenix. People don't know this. She worked in Phoenix, Arizona, helping the police for a number of years before she got famous. Famous on doing Dead Files. So those are the shows that I would look to for true information. The ghost didn't do it, I hope. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I'm in Phoenix. Yeah, so that's, I'll face the window so you can see if anybody's coming. There was a guy running by. He was jogging, and he tripped. And then I said, I hope the ghost didn't do it. And then he looked at me like I was an idiot, and he kept running. What in the heck is in the window? You want to go find out? Come on, we'll go together. I'll back up slowly to it. All right, hopefully we don't freeze up. Let's find out. So I can see this is a screen. We're going to keep going. Let's go. So I'm going to show you something neat because this building is also very old. So we have slate here. So you can see the slate. And then look at the bottom here. Hopefully you're getting a good look at that. So the original foundation for this building is still here. So we'll get closer to this. Hopefully I'm not freezing. So you can see me. I'm in the window now. But you can see that the screen's ripped. And it's got these really cool old latches here. So actual storm windows, right? And this is like, what's that show? Help me out here. HGTV, Magnolia Network, those folks, Chip and Joanna Gaines. Shiplap. This is true shiplap. This is really old. It was probably sourced from the trees that were cut down here on the property. And right now I think they just use this as a tool shed or something. But yeah, it's really cool and old. Yeah, weird vibes about this place, right? Let me see if we can walk around a little bit. So it's interesting because here, we'll take a look. Sorry. We'll take a look around. So you can see there's another window here. And check out this old door. So look at this. Hopefully the cops don't come. Let me see if I can show you the door here. Oh, look. So you see this old door handle right here? Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's got a modern day deadbolt, but it's got that really old door handle there. So that's pretty neat. We're not freezing, right? Tell me if we're freezing. No, I'm not going to go in. I'm not catching a breaking and entering charge today. Let me know if I'm freezing. I'm walking slowly. I'm going to go closer to the spy house. We'll get to the crescendo of this. I'll tell you the story about the ghost that told my sister to shush up over here in the front here. Am I still good? Not freezing? Not freezing? I still have good signal, it looks like. Thanks for hanging out with me so long, everybody. We're going to get to the crescendo of this. I'll show you the front right now. So this is where I'm at. This is the very haunted spy house. You can see. Neat, right? There's the cellar. And there's the upstairs. We might get a look at a ghost. So I'm going to tell you the story about the ghost that shushed my sister and her boyfriend in high school. It's very interesting. So, hello? Anybody home? Don't taunt the ghosts. That's what I say. Any ghosts home? Somebody needs to do the windows here. So this is the front door. Check this doorknob out, right? Like, let's get excited about how cool this is. Look at this tiny little doorknob. And to think, George Washington slept here. George Washington walked through this door. The first president of the United States of America was here in our town, and he walked through this door to take a nap. Crazy, right? So, my sister and her boyfriend were standing here doing a report for school, and her boyfriend was standing here taking a photograph, and my sister was at that door getting the photo taken. And in that window, when they got the picture developed, because it was old, there was a woman going like this, shh, as the boyfriend was knocking on the door. Isn't that crazy? This house is located in Port Monmouth, New Jersey. It's on the Bayshore waterfront. So that's really interesting. And people take pictures of this place all the time. Yeah, you can see there's windows upstairs. The only people allowed upstairs, though, are the park rangers, because they said the boards are very weak from it being old. And I think they just have offices up there now. But there are stories about a man who, an aggressive spirit who lives up there, who pushes people down and stuff. So that might be why they don't let people up there anymore. What's up, Real Ghost Hunter? How are you? I'm hanging out at the haunted spy house. Unfortunately, there's no access to it today. The park rangers aren't here. So take you around here a little bit. This window that I'm going to show you right now is the window that most people catch ghosts in, or pictures of ghosts. So this window right here and this window right here are the two windows that I think most people catch ghosts in. They say that there's a sea captain that you could see in this window and a woman that you can see up in this window. I think it's really interesting. I've not run across them here, but it's very interesting that it's here. I have to ask my sister for the pic. He says no access, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. But I am going to go in there one day. You can get in here on certain days, just not on Tuesdays, apparently. Why is it called the Spy House? Because this used to be a tavern at one point, and you can see behind me, where this lady is, that this is the bay. And this bay looks out over New York City and Manhattan. So back in the day, during the Revolutionary War, the ships would come into port in Manhattan. The Tories would hang out on the walls of the Spy House, and they would report back, and they would spy on the redcoats that were here. Hi.
How are you?
Good. Giving everybody a history lesson on the internet about the beautiful Spy House.
Oh, yes, it's wonderful.
So that's why it's called the Spy House. Just, I did tell them that. Yeah, untouched from Hurricane Sandy. They saw you walking by and said they thought you were a ghost. They got scared. They're all good, right? No ghosts. I lived here in Connecticut. So there was no ghost. There was just a lady walking her dog. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. It's a lot of fun talking about it. But anyway, so let me see if I can, it's kind of, the warmer it gets, the harder it is to see out here. But behind me here, you can see, I think that's the Verrazano Bridge right there. And then that's the Manhattan skyline. And on a nice day, you can see the Freedom Tower. During 9/11, me and my friends came out here onto the beach that's right here. And, we watched 9/11 from right here. It was pretty wild. So that's why this is the Spy House. You can see everything that's happening out here in Manhattan. Spirits can be a gray shadow, yeah. Scotty, do you feel any good energy from it? I'm not feeling bad. No, I don't have any bad energy from this place ever. I think the ghosts here are really cool. I think they're really awesome. They don't bother anybody. They're just here to exist. And I think as long as we don't antagonize them or make them upset, they'll just exist. So standing right where I am, I actually am getting my, like, spirit on, you know? Like, I can feel it. I can feel them here, and I know that they're here, and it's really interesting to feel it. It's very interesting. I just love it. Yeah, they're very happy. And I think that they're more happy now that it's just a park ranger station and not many people are going in it. So if you live in New Jersey or you live nearby and you think you want to take a day trip, this is one of several places that you can go and visit that has paranormal activity. It's in the magazine Weird New Jersey. So if you look up Weird New Jersey Spy House, it'll give you the actual address of the place. And then you can visit the other cool places. This is also about, I'd say this is about 3 miles, 10 minutes ride from the Clerks Quick Stop building. So where they filmed Clerks 1 and 3 is right down the road this way, like about 10 minutes in Leonardo, and you can go visit that while you're here too. So you can get some snacks, some munchies, and come visit here and ghost hunt. Law enforcement's pretty friendly. They don't give any problems for people who are being respectful walking around here at nighttime. Just don't go pulling on the doors and knocking on the windows, and you shouldn't have a problem. Somebody watching me from the front porch? Yeah, probably. Now, what's really neat, I'm going to give you a little piece of history here. What's really neat and interesting is when this place went from museum to ranger station, they took all... Holy shit. Woo, you scared me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know everyone thinks the house is haunted. Right?
Yeah, it's haunted. No, yes, it is.
I've been working here for years.
Oh, she's saying it's not haunted. She don't know. Did that scare anybody else? I swear to God, I didn't do that on purpose. Oh my God, I almost fell over and had a heart attack. So I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, so when this place went from being a ranger station to a museum, they took all the furniture out of here and they moved it to a warehouse across town. And as soon as they moved all the furniture from the warehouse across town, from here to warehouse across town, I started getting calls to investigate homes near that warehouse. So there may have been some spirits attached to the furniture there. Holy cow. Hey, what's up, Scotland? How are you? Man, that lady scared the crap out of me. She was looking mad, right? See, what did I tell you? She works here, and you know what she said? There's no ghosts. It's exactly what I told you. And I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I've lived here my entire life. I've had my experiences here. This place is haunted for sure. But exactly what I said, right? I said, if you ask them if this place is haunted, they say, no, it's not. Because they're afraid to admit that it is, or they've been told to say it's not. But I don't work for them, so I can tell you it is. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. If you like that jump scare and you enjoy history and haunted places, this is the place to be. My name is Scott, and I'm hosting a live for about 10 more minutes before I got to go pick my kid up from CCD. You just saw an orb? Really? That lady literally scared the bejesus out of me. Jump scare level 10. She was like, nope. Yep, that's what I told you they would say. I'm pretty smart. I've been here before. I asked them and they're like, nope, nope. All right. Oh, don't say it like that. Always a Catholic. Knock it off. Oh, she was real. Yeah, I think it was camera lens flare. Freezing up. Are we good now? We're back? All right. So, of course, we have 200 followers, and it's about time for me to go. But if you guys like what you saw here, please do me a favor, like and follow. I will come back, and maybe I'll come back at nighttime and do a nighttime investigation out here on the lawn with you. If you guys like that, please do me a favor, like and follow. Give me a share, and stay tuned for more lives. I'm sorry I can't stay. I got to go pick up my kid. It was really nice hanging out with you guys, chilling out, and it was really fun. Yeah, there's people. Oh, by the way, yeah, if you're watching this, I'll never send you a DM asking for readings or anything. I don't do that. The only way to get a reading from me is to go to my Facebook page, look at my schedule, and then email me or message me directly on Scotty the NJ Medium on Facebook. It's the only way that you're going to get a reading from me. I'll never, ever, ever slide into your DMs trying to solicit you. That's not who the hell I am, and I don't have time for it. So please know that was that those people are clones and they're assholes. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you. I'm going to get going. This is the historic spy house in Port Monmouth, New Jersey. I hope you liked it. If you didn't get to see this, I am going to repost it on YouTube by tomorrow. So go to my YouTube channel. There's a link in my bio. Click on it, and it'll be TikTok Talk, I think episode number 8 or 9. And you could click on it and watch the entire replay. We had a really nice talk about everything, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks a lot, everybody. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day, a better tomorrow, and I appreciate you following along. Talk to you later.